Hey, it's Nate with Pulse PMF in the PulseCast booth at the 2025 Biohacking Conference. And we have Helen with AirDoctor and AquaTru with us. Thank you so much for taking time out of your schedule to join us.
Thank you for having me here. I'm really excited.
Absolutely. And this is, we're talking fundamentals here
Yes.
because there's a lot of modalities, a lot of awesome stuff going on,
Yeah.
things for skin, things for specific organs. But we do have to stay aware of the fundamentals:
Yes.
clean air, clean water. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, I mean, so we're here at biohacking and there's so much great tech, right? And there's so many awesome supplements that are really addressing so many root cause issues for people for the ultimate longevity biohack, right?
Yes.
But what's really important is that you establish a great foundation. And two of the most important things you can do is purify your air and purify your water,
Yep.
because that will really set you up for success as it relates to
We
longevity.
can't overlook this.
And no, not at all. Because, look, everybody is getting water. Our tap water is so contaminated,
Oh,
right?
yes. Don't
And
get me started on that.
we're like, we go to the water. We're so lucky, number one, to have running water. So as a country, we're super fortunate to have that. But really, um, our tap water is so contaminated and it's filled with things like microplastics, forever chemicals, fluoride, drug residue. I can go on and on. So, super important that people are filtering their water at home, both to drink and to cook with.
Yes. Actually, my wife, as a doctor of naturopathy, she describes the fluoridation of water as forced medication. And I thought that was such an interesting way of putting it, but it's true.
Yeah, and I mean, fluoride is a known carcinogen, and it has been proven to have really, really adverse effects in children, their cognitive abilities. So there's no reason why we should be putting fluoride in our drinking water, especially for children. Also, our animals, like our animals, our fur babies, they're not made to be ingesting fluoride,
Right.
right? So there's great ways to be able. There's lots of non-fluoride options for our dental health. And
Yes.
there's no reason that we should be using fluoride. It causes a real lot of, it's correlated with a lot of significant health concerns.
Yes.
And fluoride's really hard to remove. And so, like, if you're just using like a pitcher filter or a fridge filter, it's not going to remove fluoride. The only thing that removes fluoride is reverse osmosis. And that's what we have at AquaTru.
So tell us about the mission of AquaTru.
Yeah, so our mission at AquaTru is that everyone has the right to pure water backed by science. So the great thing about AquaTru, it's a countertop, really affordable water purifier that you just put tap water in, and it goes through a 4-stage reverse osmosis process.
Wow.
We're certified to NSF standards to remove 84 contaminants, including microplastics, forever chemicals, fluoride, like all
Wow.
these things that we're also worried about. And by having an easy way to purify your water at home really sets you up for success, especially when you're thinking about longevity. You're wanting to try all these supplements, all these cool modalities we have here. So, water's key and hydration is key, right?
Yes.
So, if you're doing all this amazing stuff like we have here at the Biohacking Show, really important that you're drinking a glass of water when you wake up in the morning. You're going to bed with a glass of water so you can really set up your body for success.
Now, equally as important, we're talking air as
Yeah.
well. With Air Doctor, I'm assuming it's the same mission,
Yes.
just it's that other fundamental that we have got to get addressed because we do want to experience all of the benefits of what the biohacking movement is producing. And we
Yeah.
want to couple it with these two fundamentals.
So we spend 80% of our life in bed, right? So I mean, it's a long time. So it's very important that you're purifying the air when you sleep. When you go to sleep, your body detoxes, your brain detoxes. And basically, I mean, we're really super air consumers. We're breathing about 3,000 gallons of air a day.
Wow.
So when you think about that, you really want to make sure that the air that you're breathing is as pure and clean as possible, because it's really feeding our whole cellular makeup. And clean air is so important. And there's been so many links, like our indoor air can be 100 times more contaminated than outdoor air.
Yep.
And what happens is all the contaminants from outside get trapped inside and then they adhere to surfaces. And like for instance, in Los Angeles, our company is an LA-based company. We just had the horrible fires,
Right.
and contaminants from those fires, or like here in Austin, they're tearing down a building across the street. These contaminants can adhere to surfaces up to 100 miles and last for years. So
Wow.
it's really important that we are addressing both the particles, the particulate matter, the volatile organic compounds, because poor air quality is one of actually, it's like a silent killer. It really causes a lot of big problems worldwide. And it's been correlated with fertility issues, heart health issues, cognitive decline, Alzheimer's.
Yep.
And so addressing our air really, really important. And by drinking pure water and breathing clean air, you're really building a strong foundation to do all this great biohacking for longevity.
So when we're talking about experiencing these things outside as well, and then we're trying to bring the cleansing that we need in our home with the AquaTru and the AirDoctor, are those all in-home devices? Do you have car devices as well for the air?
So we have home and office devices. So
Nice.
our devices are made for, we have our consumer devices that you can have at home. That's really our core market. And
Hmm.
with AquaTrue, we're also expanding into offices, schools, studios, because the water business is a little interesting. Not many water purifier companies are tested and certified to NSF standards. So it's very important that when you're researching water purifiers, you want to make sure that they're sharing their science
Yeah.
and that they're very transparent about what they remove,
Mhm.
because it's really hard to remove some things like fluoride, forever chemicals, microplastics, and you want to make sure that whatever you choose at home is got you covered.
So with the home unit of the AquaTru, is that just for drinking water? Is this like for your showers as well? Is it an entire house system?
We are just launching a shower filter. So I'm
Yes.
so excited. We've been working on it for years and years because we really wanted to make sure it was very founded in science and that we could get certifications for chlorine, chloramines, which people don't hear about it, but it's another active disinfectant. It's how they treat our water, and also heavy metals. And so we have made a beautiful shower filter. It's launching in June. We're really excited about it. We have it here. We're debuting it here in the show.
Oh, wow.
And once you shower with a shower filter, you are not going back. It's like you don't want to take a shower in your pool, right? And
Right.
so, like, shower filters are awesome. I can't wait for you to
Is it
try
going
it.
to be like mobile where you could take it to a hotel if you needed to?
I mean, if you really wanted to, you could. I
Okay.
mean, like you could unplug it and plug it. Like they're
Yeah.
not hard to take on and off. And so, like, if you're that
I'm that
person, okay,
guy.
you could totally travel with it.
I've been pretty sensitive to water
Yeah.
systems, and I can tell when they're treating it because I start itching after
Yes.
I get out of the
Yes.
shower. Nobody else in my family seems to have that. And I'm like, I don't know if this is a gift or a curse or
No, it's a big problem. Actually, like people, I mean, the disinfectant, like chloramines, which I was just talking
right.
about, chloramines can eat through copper piping. Imagine what they're doing to your skin. And
And
so people have
what?
these skin issues, and you're like, why do I have the skin issue? And it's
What?
because of the disinfectant that they're using to disinfect our water supply. Also, and what it's doing to our gut health is horrible too. So
Yep.
basically, we're having such gut health problems here as a nation, and it's because these chlorine and chloramines are horrible for our gut health. And also, like, I always like, and also for our kids, right? Like our kids that are growing, our puppies, our kittens, like small children should not be exposed to things like this. So super important that you're doing the fundamentals and you're purifying both your air and your water.
When you're thinking about how the skin is the largest organ of the
Yes.
body and it's
Yeah.
so absorbent, and people
Yeah.
like long hot showers. We're talking
Yeah.
opening the pores with the hot water. Now we're heating up chlorine and these other disinfectants.
Yeah.
So do you have any stories of people who have been using either AquaTru or AirDoctor and they're noticing a drastic shift,
Oh,
because that affects almost every part of your body, right?
so much. I mean, so first of all, with Air Doctor, like when you start sleeping with an Air Doctor in your bedroom, like when you go to a hotel or you travel,
Right.
I mean, you're like, forget it. Like people are like, please, like, come out with the travel. We have people that actually travel with our Air Doctors because they just can't handle it.
Yep.
And a lot of people in these hotel rooms, like they're all the windows don't open,
Yep.
and so you'll never get a better night's sleep. And then with water, it helps reduce inflammation. It really helps with bloating. You just feel better. You're really making sure that, you're not like retoxing. You want to detox, not retox, And one thing
That's
that
a good. I
you
haven't heard
know,
that before.
it's super important, right? Because like people just don't, and even like bottled water,
Yeah.
you buy bottled water, it's filled with microplastics.
Yep.
And microplastics it's basically petroleum. And so now they're finding microplastics in people's heart valves, in the brains of people that we've lost to dementia. They're finding it in like the testicles of men. It's wreaking havoc with women's fertility. I mean, these microplastics are a really big concern. And I have to say, like, for those listening, if you hear one thing, if you just stop drinking out of plastic bottles, you reduce your microplastic intake by 90%. It is really like one thing that you can do to
Wow.
really help yourself with a microplastic situation is just ditch plastic bottles. And that's for everything. So that's something that people can do at home. Also, when you cook, right, people are programmed to think you like boil a pot of water for pasta, that it's clean. It's not. So contaminants don't boil out. So really
Absolutely.
important that you're cooking with purified water. So
Yes.
um there's no big change on the horizon here as far as our municipalities and our water quality. So it's really important that at home we're purifying our water that we cook with and that we're drinking.
That's absolutely brilliant.
Yeah,
Now, I so much of the physical, you were talking about gut health and bloating and how that can affect those things. And that's where our neurotransmitters are formed. So we're talking this will end up affecting mental and emotional health as
100%.
well. And
100%.
so, how can our viewers find out more about AquaTru and AirDoctor?
Sure. So you can find us on social media at AquaTru and at AirDoctor. I'm at Helen Christoni, and I'm always educating about both of them, both air and the water space. And we're at AirDoctor and AquaTru.com.
So, what do you see in the next 10 years for AquaTru and AirDoctor and the biohacking movement?
I really think that water is really hot right now. And I think that everyone is really becoming aware of the problem that's coming out of our sink. And I think that everybody will be purifying their water before too long because it's really it's one of the root causes for so much. And then I think for air, I always say like in the last 5 years, there's been so many natural disasters that have had the need for safe rooms in your houses. Like I
Yeah.
added it up. I think over the last 5 years since I've been really educating about Air Doctor, there's been 180 million people here in the United States that have had a need out of an emergency for an air purifier. With Canadian wildfires, the LA fires, East Palestine trail derailment. Air is something that you need to have at home as in case of an emergency. Like the ability to purify your air is so important. And so I think as this whole longevity and health movement continues to grow, people will really start taking their foundation seriously
Yes.
and it will become mainstream. And I hope that like new construction, new buildings that are being built, that they're really putting these clean water and clean air systems into the facilities
Yes.
so we all as a community can be healthier.
That should become the
A
standard.
100%.
I mean, they'll nitpick all these other things and put all these fines on all these things, but the water and air seems to just get a free pass.
It really does. It
Isn't that
really does.
interesting?
Yeah, it's very interesting. So we need to make sure we're taking care of that at home.
Thank you for being a voice to
Yeah.
make sure that that happens in the next 5 to 10 years, hopefully closer to the 5 year mark.
Yeah.
Helen, it was such a joy to have you on the PulseCast today.
Oh, my pleasure.
And make sure that you follow AquaTru and Air Doctor. If you are in need of clean water, clean air, you have an easy resource right here, right now in this biohacking movement. We're not just talking about wellness, we're living it. So make sure you keep that front row seat here on the PulseCast. We'll see you in the next conversation.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you so much.